Hi, good night, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your U.S. immigration questions. So if you have a question, now is the time to put your questions in the comments so that I may answer it. Let me formally introduce myself. I am U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green card and status in the United States. So if you are thinking about the immigration process, you're going through the process, or even if you've already been through the process but you still have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments right now and I will answer your questions. So I usually come with a topic to talk about. I just posted a video about the ability to apply for the green card while being in the United States, even if you overstayed your visa. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more for those of you who are curious and you want to know if you could possibly qualify for something like this. Hi there. Hey, yes, I'm great, Talk 1981. You know, you're always welcomed here and it's always good to see you. Thanks for joining in again. Go ahead, put your questions in while I'm here. That is exactly why I'm here, is to answer your questions. Now, I am going to talk to you. Now, if you would like to schedule a consultation, a personal consultation, to be able to talk about your particular issue, you can go ahead and go to the link in my bio or call 561-405-4889. You will get to the website where you can complete a contact form and a scheduling coordinator will get back to you. Or you can call, when you call, you can call any time of day and you will get a receptionist, either an after hours receptionist or a scheduling coordinator who can help you to apply for the schedule a consultation. So now, applying for the green card while you're in the United States. So here come my son is here. I'm on vacation, so hi. He's here, so he wants to say hi. Just go ahead and wave. Okay, great. So that has been a fantasy of my son, is to come on to say hi to everyone. So he just came on and made a mini appearance. So hi there, Sid Stewart. It's nice to see you. Thanks for saying hi. Now, so hi, I passed my citizenship on Tuesday. The officer was super nice. Congratulations. Yes, so you know, they're not all bad people. As a matter of fact, most are nice. You know, you do have officers that may make mistakes, and that's where it's important to have your attorney there who can advocate for you. And even sometimes when they make mistakes or deny the application, they're not, you know, terrible about it. They're very matter-of-factly, very professional, most of them. And that's the way it should be. So congratulations, Norana. That gives me joy today. So go ahead, keep putting those questions in. Now, if you are the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, you are the spouse of a U.S. citizen, you're the parent of a U.S. citizen, and when I say parent of a U.S. citizen, you are a parent of a U.S. citizen who is 21 and up, or you are the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen under 21 and unmarried, then there is a way to apply for the green card while being in the United States, as long as you came into the country with a visa or some sort of permission. For example, you were paroled into the United States. So good evening. My question is, if you misspelled my birth tone, will it affect me if my hubby files? So that is usually a typographical error that can be corrected. So if that's the case, you can always go ahead, contact them and make that correction. And there are ways to do that. You can even go to the USCIS, and there is a form that's available to correct errors there, or you can call them and let them know you'd like to correct your application, and they'll walk you through the instructions. What about grandparents? Grandparents can't file for grandchildren. You do have an indirect way. So for example, if your parents are being filed for and you are a minor under 21 and unmarried, under immigration law, under 21 is considered a child, you would be able to go along with the parents being sponsored, but there is no direct way for a grandparent to file for their grandchildren. What if you're older than 21? Great question. If you're older than 21, then you're not going to be considered an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, and you would not, if you're out of status, you would not qualify to apply for the green card through adjustment of status. There is another process that I often talk about, and that's you'd have to apply for a waiver, and then once you get the waiver approved, you can stay in the United States while the decision is being made on that waiver. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you the benefits of work permit, but it does still allow you to stay in the United States. And then once it's approved, you can wait until your interview and then go to the interview in your home country. But it's, you know, a U.S. citizen or a green card holder parent sponsoring someone who is older than 21 is going to take years. So 6 to 7 years, 5 to 6 years for green card holders sponsoring children, 6 to 7 years for U.S. citizens. You're welcome, Martine. Thank you for your questions. Scooby forever. Other than police clearance, do they check at your social media? Yes. So they do ask for it on the application, and they will check. So make sure that you are very careful about what you post, very careful about your content. How long does it take to get a work permit if your employer is filing for you and you're already in the States? So a work permit is usually, I don't know what process you're going through. Now with the work permit, it's usually what's called an employment-based visa, not necessarily a work permit. A work permit is where you're applying for a benefit. You're applying for your green card, and during the process, you may get the work permit in the meantime if you qualify for adjustment of status. Or you may get a work permit if you're applying through family and you are going through the adjustment of status. But if your employer is sponsoring you, you may be getting an employment visa. Okay, so it's a green card one. So right now, work permits are taking 6 to 8 months. So 6 to 8 months to come through. How does someone know which service center their I-130 is being processed? So it's usually on the receipt notice, so that I-797. Also, you can tell based on the state, so where you filed it. If you filed it in a certain state, sometimes they will show you where they're processing individuals from different states. So, okay, so yes, it's the green card one. Do you have to have a savings to be granted a visa? Not necessarily. You don't necessarily need a savings account, I'm thinking you're trying to say. So Kelleen Mighty, not family-based, employment-based. So right now, work permits across the board is taking 6 to 8 months because my number begin with IOE. So yes, so definitely what you need to do is you can go look at your receipt notice. You can also contact them directly to find out which service center if it's not on your receipt notice. Also, you can check that online. How long does work permit take after the fingerprint? So it differs. I wouldn't be able to tell you how long after the fingerprinting appointment, but what I can say is from the time that you filed to the time that you receive it in the mail. Right now, the average time is 6 to 8 months. It could be a little more, could be less, but the average time is 6 to 8 months. Can I travel with my travel advance parole? That's what it's there for, Crystal. It's there to allow you to come back into the country. Now, Kelleen Mighty, you're welcome. Now, I don't know what your circumstances are, and it really depends. Specific advice regarding whether you should travel on your advance parole will depend on what's going on right now in your case. So get legal advice if you have any doubts and you want to make sure you're safe to leave the country. So I am an LPR and I did daughter I-130 last July. and it's at California Service Center. So now if you're an legal permanent resident and you did the I-130, it's at the service center. If you haven't had a decision yet, you're going to wait for a decision, and it depends on where your daughter is. Now keep in mind that if you're a green card holder, you won't be able to do adjustment of status if your daughter is out of status. Now if your daughter is under 18, the good news is that once it's approved and it goes to the embassy, the National Visa Center, and then the embassy for the interview, as long as she's under 18, she could still travel to the interview and not have unlawful presence held against her. So it really depends. Thea, I think so. It's very important to get legal advice. Sam, for real, you're welcome. But I heard people say they are not. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Kelleen. So just clarify that for me, please. How long I have to wait? So Thiapin I-130s right now, they're taking over a year to approve. And it really depends on what's going on in your case. So if they want more evidence, or it depends on the processing time of the service center. So you did say that there is a service center that's processing your case right now. You can go to USCIS, go to case processing times, and you would be able to see based on that service center how long they're taking right now. What kind of evidence can I submit if I did not receive my social security number for marriage base? So I'm not sure, Tug 1981, I'm not sure you need, I don't know what kind of evidence you're talking about. Now, if you're talking about evidence of the marriage, you wouldn't necessarily need your social security to show any marriage-based evidence. Usually, actually, when your spouse is first filing for you, you don't usually have an SSN. So I'm not sure what kind of evidence. Can you just clarify that? Hi, good evening. I'm on vacation. I'm going for a visa with advanced parole. So they suggest you wait on the green card. So Kelleen, Mighty, if you have any issues, if you have any doubts, the best thing to do is to get legal advice. I don't know what your particular circumstances are. If you are in a situation where you are concerned, get legal advice, because advanced parole does not guarantee re-entry. There is a small risk that you could get to the border and some complication might come up when you're trying to get back into the country. Generally speaking, advanced parole is there for you to be able to come back into the country, but it's not a guarantee. Remember that immigration benefits is not a right, it's a privilege. And so when you're coming back, for example, if while you left you got denied, or while you left something came up in your file that could prevent you from coming back into the country, that could spell problems. So while the advanced parole is there to permit you to come in, Kelly, I don't want to panic you, because that's what advanced parole is there for. But as the attorney, with very little information about your particular circumstances, I do provide general information here about the risk. So if you have any concerns, get legal advice first. Let's see. She's not working. Can I take her with me? So let's see. Camille Bartholomew. Let's see. I don't see where you're. I don't see. Hi, good evening. I'm on vacation. I'm going for a visa, but my daughter's 28 and I want to take her. So you'll have to apply. Now, even though she's not working, so she isn't working, but she still has to show she's 28, so she still has to prove that she independently has strong ties to her home country that would allow her to, or compel her rather, to return to her home country after a temporary visit to the United States. So if she doesn't have a job, what other commitments does she have? right now that's going to compel her to return to your home country. For example, is she going to school right now? Is she in the middle of a degree program? Does she have sufficient support from you as the parent? So these are pieces of evidence that you must gather in order to make sure that you present a strong case. So Tug 1981 for the interview. So usually if you don't have your social security, it's not required for that. I don't know, Tug, if you're the immigrant, it's not required to have a social security before the interview. You just have to make sure you focus on meeting the other requirements. After taking fingerprints, how long after you get a call for the interview? So usually from the time you file to the end of it depends. No, it depends. It sounds like you're going through adjustment of status, R. Johnson, and I don't know if it's marriage based or employment based. If it's marriage based, it could be anywhere from it could be around 18 months to get the interview. Anywhere from 9 months to 18 months to get the interview. If the I-130 was already approved, is it still a year before I-485 approved? So Teacher Steve, the I-130 in general is taking about a year. The I-485, usually you have to attend the interview to be able to get approved for the interview. So the interview, right now, the interview is taking between 9 months and 18 months to be scheduled. What is the appropriate way to dress for a U.S. visa interview? So I would say a semi-casual. So, you know, a nice blouse. If you're a woman, a nice blouse and skirt, and not, you know, nothing that looks like you're going to the club. A more conservative outfit. No flip-flops. You know, you do want to show them that you can dress appropriately, and unfortunately, you know, our outer appearance does also it also can imply to the officer certain other things. You know, the officer can make certain conclusions based on how you're dressed as well, and so it shouldn't be, but that is the case. That's the reality of it. So just make sure that you wear closed-toe shoes, or if you wear sandals, they're nice sandals, you know, nice design sandals with a nice pants and a blouse. I'm outside of the USA and my permanent resident and my green card has expired. What can I do? So if you left and you've left for over a year, you could be in danger of losing your permanent resident status. For example, if you just travel to the United States and try to re-enter with your permanent resident card, they could turn you right back around. So at the point that you have stayed over a year, you didn't intend to, something came up. For example, with COVID right now, many people have been in situations like that where they've been stuck in the country. If that's the case, there's something called an Sb1 Visa that allows you to apply for re-entry. So it's an immigrant visa, re-entry visa. And once you get back, then you can reapply for your permanent resident card. So very important that you get legal advice to get help with it. Tug 1981, we only have bank account, lease, and bills at our house together. Will that be enough? Tug 1981, I can't tell you if that's enough because I'm not your attorney and I can't give you specific legal advice. Having a joint bank account, the lease and bills, the officer is going to, you know, go through that with a fine-tooth comb. They're going to look through the bank account to see if you and your spouse were actively using it. Because they do know that there are some couples that if it's a sham marriage, they still open a bank account together and then they just don't use the bank account. And so they have learned to get the full bank statements to look at your whether the both of you were active on the account. And with your lease, they usually want to see an updated lease. So make sure you bring an updated lease in addition to the old lease that you submitted. and bills. So if you're jointly on the light bill, the cable bill, credit card bills, make sure that you bring those with you. What can be helpful is a photo album with you in different seasons. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, New Year, celebrating together at different scenes with different people, different family. But it really depends on how detailed the evidence is and whether it's convincing evidence. So just make sure that you bring in a complete months and months of bank statements showing your activity, your lease agreement, bills. Now, if you have any questions, concerns, Talk 1981, you want representation at the interview, you can definitely, that is an option. You can call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation, and then we can talk more about you in specific. What about is someone overstayed due to COVID? So there is the ability to apply for an extension. If you didn't apply for an extension, it could still spell trouble for you. So get legal advice before you make any moves to make sure that that everything is okay. Even if I have social security card, so a social security card, Island Girl for Life, is not going to qualify you for any specific immigration benefits. They do give social security to individuals on a temporary basis. An Island Girl for Life, I don't know if I answered your previous question. I don't know if I answered any previous questions, so I don't have any context here. So how long does administrative processing take? It really depends. Administrative processing is basically saying that they have you in a sort of extended review. So it can take a very long time, and then at the same time, it can be a little delay over what you expected. That is a nightmarish part about administrative processing. You just don't know. So if you are concerned about an issue, if there's something that happened, get legal advice to make sure that you are okay. So Island Girl for Life, okay, so I answered your question. So with the Social Security card, Island Girl for Life, it's not going to provide you any additional benefits, because they do issue Social Security numbers to people with temporary status all the time. And so, in this case, it's not going to, give you an advantage. What happens is individuals who have already been granted Social Security numbers, sometimes they continue to use it to open bank accounts and to file their taxes. That is not necessarily something that is legal because it's not valid, but it does happen because people do have to survive, and so they use that number for reasons like that, but it doesn't give you any benefits. And sometimes even if you give them that invalid Social Security number, employers can reject it because they will realize that it's invalid, that it's no longer valid. So thanks for sharing the live, and keep those questions coming. I am going to be here for another 5 minutes at most. So now is your time to put your questions in the comments. This is the last time I'll be on today. So go ahead and put those questions in the comments. I am working on coming on every single day. And I do. So if you want to follow me, and then as soon as you see me go live, you'll get notice and hop on with me and ask your question. Do you know if the NVC is back up again? Everything was received 2/14/2020, but I still haven't heard anything. Now, NK, make sure you call them or send them a message and put an inquiry into your case, just so that they know that you communicated with them. And then, it is the National Visa Center has always been open. It's just that certain cases were being given priority over others. Some cases were put on hold. So they are functioning. They're just functioning at a slower pace. Hi there, K9 Kelsey. It's nice to see you. So go ahead and check on your case. Oh, thanks so much for the compliment. Thanks a lot. NK, you are welcome. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions, and I am just going to be on here for about 2 more minutes. So if you have a question, go ahead and put your questions in the comments now. Hi there, Monat24. It's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. Now, I was talking before I started to get these great questions. I was talking about applying for the green card while you're in the United States, even if you're out of status. How can you do that? The first is if you're the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen and you came in with a visa. So immediate relatives of U.S. citizens are going to be the spouse of a U.S. citizen, the parent of a U.S. citizen who's 21 and up, or the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is under 21 and unmarried. Monat24, do you know of any way where I can speak to a human for USCIS? So what I do is I say InfoPass. So you would like to schedule an InfoPass appointment. At that point, usually I do get an information specialist that comes on and deals with the issue. So you can try that as well, Monat24. And I do know that it's very frustrating. So try that one. Okay, so another way is if you're here and you have a U.S. citizen, you're welcome, Monat24. If you have a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, if you're under 25 and you have a green card holder or U.S. citizen parent, or you have a citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up and they're mistreating you, that is another way that you can apply for the green card on your own, even if you're out of status, even if you cross the border without permission. So if you do qualify, if this is happening to you, this is another way that you can qualify. You should definitely schedule a consultation. We can talk more about your situation and evaluate whether you can qualify and apply for it. You'll get a work permit along the way, so you can get some form of relief, some form of independence while you wait for the green card process to be complete. If someone got married and filed a permanent resident, do they still overstay on their visa? So if someone got married and filed for permanent resident, if the U.S., it depends. Now, if you married a U.S. citizen and you overstay the visa, yes, you're still considered out of status, you're still considered overstay. But what will happen is that you can go through the adjustment of status if you are married to a U.S. citizen, or you're being sponsored by a parent and you're under 21 and unmarried, or you're being sponsored by a U.S. citizen son or daughter 21 and up. You can, what will happen is along the way, about 6 to 8 months after applying, you'll get a work permit. And that work permit will enable you to work. It'll give you a form of identification, not necessarily legal status, but a form of identification, and enable you to work while the green card process is going through. So great questions. Thanks so much for your questions. I'm going to head out for the night. I will see if I can come back for one more time because this was such a short time. But if I can't, I will be back tomorrow. All you have to do is follow me, and as soon as you see me go live, you can go ahead and hop on with me and schedule a consultation. So my kids are American. Can I apply? They have to sponsor you when they turn to at least one of them turns 21. Then they can sponsor you. Island Girl for life. Other than that, they wouldn't be able to qualify you for the green card just by being, having American children, unfortunately. So it was so nice. All questions. It was a pleasure. Go to the link in my bio, and as soon as if you want to call, schedule a consultation, get personal legal advice, call 561-405-4889. You can also get the number on my website by going to the link in my bio. The keyword is InfoPass appointment. You'd like to schedule an InfoPass appointment. So go ahead and do that. And my phone lines are open 24/7. So even if it's after hours, after hours receptionist will take your name, your information, and then on the next business day, which will be Monday, a scheduling coordinator will get back to you. Also, tomorrow, a scheduling coordinator does work from 12 to 5. 12 to 5, so you can get individual attention and schedule your consultation. Have a good night, everyone, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.